Hello everybody! In today's video, we're going to be unboxing and taking a detailed look at Bachmann's HO scale Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends Universe Ryan. So let's just jump right into it and unbox. So Ryan is an 062 side tank steam locomotive. In the Thomas and Friends universe, Ryan has a history of working on the Great Northern Railway, but currently works on the Harwick branch line hauling goods, while Daisy, a diesel locomotive, hauls the passenger cars. Personality-wise, Ryan is one of the good guys. He wants to be a hero, but knows he's really not that brave, and in fact tends to panic in the presence of danger. He's probably like a lot of us in that regard. He communicates directly and sincerely, and has a good sense of humor. He's not above making a good self-deprecating joke. And look at that. That's really, well, usually is with the Bachmann stuff, well packaged. It's got that plastic blister packaging, and then it's got that little insert that it sits in. Very well packaged, secure. Yeah, that's a good looking engine. Let's get it on the track and take a detailed look. Alright, so there's Ryan out of the packaging and sitting on the track. He is about 6.5 inches long from coupler tip to coupler tip. Nice thing about this locomotive is that it's got couplers at both ends, not just at the back end. So, as with all Thomas and Friends Universe locomotives, Ryan is based on an actual locomotive. He's based on the Great Northern Railway Class N2 side tank steam locomotive. The Class N2s were designed to pull passenger coaches. They operated out of Moorgate Station in central London and King's Cross Railway Station. Huh. I wonder if these locomotives ever picked up passengers at platform 9 3/4. Anyway, in addition to the Great Northern Railway, they were also operated by the London and North Eastern Railway and the British Railway. Ryan is based on the N2 Subclass 1 or N2/1, which were built in 1920 and 1921. They began being withdrawn from service in 1955, and the last of the N2s were withdrawn in 1962. Alright, let's take a detailed look at Ryan. Okay, so we'll start taking a look at Ryan here from the side, and of course the most distinguishing feature here, or visual, is Ryan's color. It's a really nice purple color, and he's got a lot of pinstriping on the various elements here, like the bottom of the tender behind the cab here. He's got some pinstriping around the side tank, and then over the wheel well, and then this little triangular piece here up by the end of the front end of the boiler. There's some black detailing here on the side, like these little handrails here on the side of the side tank, and then these handrails here down the side of the cab. And then he's got these nice step-ups here. So Ryan is a 062 locomotive, meaning he's got no leading wheels. He's got 6 drive wheels, 3 on each side, and he's got 2 trailing wheels, 1 on each side. Again, here we've got some pinstriping running at the, just under the top edge of the tender here, and or the coal storage, and it wraps kind of around the back. You'll see that as we turn it. And you can see there's some linkage down here between the 3 drive wheels on this side. There's obviously 3 drive wheels on the other side with similar linkage. And the cab has this kind of kind of arched or curve aspect to it. And this pinstriping here that outlines the cab actually kind of follows the contour of the roof, so it kind of bends up onto the curve of the roof, which is kind of cool. We also have a lot of piping work here along the boiler. And we've got some piping features up here right in the front of the cab. And then we've got the whistle you can't see. We'll see that from the front, or we'll turn it so that you can see it. But there's a whistle feature on the cab, and then you've got the boiler features like the steam dome, this feature here, and then the chimney there at the front. And then the boiler is painted black, probably the last quarter or so, the front quarter of it. And then you've got this little placard here that says Ryan right on the side of the boiler. All right, let's give it a turn. Looking at Ryan from the back. We've got the hook and loop coupler here, we've got the buffers with the black pads, and then the red posts attached to this red bumper back here. We have an airline and then a utility hook. And then here the back of the tender is just kind of flat plastic with a rear facing lantern here. That's a non-functioning lantern. It's just a feature here. Sometimes those are either painted on or they might be a sticker on some of the other Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends Universe HO scale from Bachmann. But this is actually a lantern that's fixed to that, so it has some texture to it, like three-dimensional thing there. Then we get some black piping coming around the back of the tender here, and the tender kind of has this little step out here. This kind of feature here at the top where it's kind of looks like I said, it kind of steps out a little bit. And then the coal tender, and then the windows in the back of the cab. I'm not really sure if those are windows. I suspect they are, but they've got like these little bars, little vertical bars on them. And they've got this kind of almost teardrop feature as they follow the contour of the roof going to the outside. All right, let's give it another turn. Okay, this side of the locomotive is pretty much a exact copy of the opposite side. So we've got, again, the kind of the ladder step-ups here, which are kind of cool, working top to bottom. The wheels have purple spokes here on the inside, which is a nice kind of feature here to tie the paint job all together here with the wheel. So that's kind of a nice detail. I mentioned earlier that there's a little Ryan placard there on the other side, but the side of the engine has a kind of a gold GNR for Great Northern Railway, and then Ryan's number here, 1014. Again, those are on both sides. But yeah, nothing really new over here, just some nice, again, this nice detailed piping here. Yeah, so let's give it another turn. And of course, with these Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends Universe, this is the money shot. Looking at the front here with the face of the character, Ryan's got huge eyes. I think they're bigger eyes, I think, than they seem to be on the other locomotives. But yeah, it's a good-looking front of the engine here. We've got the hook and loop coupler up front too, the buffers. Then we've got the lantern posts here on the front with one lantern here on one side. Hypothetically, that's sitting on top of the post on this side here, and they can move that from post to post depending on the need. And then we got the red bumper, utility hook, airline there, and then you can see kind of the front here. As you look down the cab here, you can see this piping kind of comes up around the front windows here of the cab. I'm not quite sure exactly what those would be used for, but yeah, nice little detail here. After you get past the side tanks here, under the boiler here, you've got this kind of sloping, or actually it's not sloping, it's this support structure here under the boiler, on either side of the boiler, painted purple. So yeah, that's a really good looking locomotive there. Why don't we take a look at the top and the bottom? Okay, looking from the top here, you can see there's also this kind of silver painted strapping here around the boiler here. There's 5 of them, one kind of passing under that steam dome there. You can see the coal load here in the bunker. And you can see there's these little on the roof. This is, again, kind of a curved roof. Oh, you can see here on the pinstriping how it kind of wraps up onto the top of the roof. You can see that nice from the top. But then if you get the light right, there are 2 little raised features on the roof. Hypothetically, that's probably some kind of ventilation for the cab. And then if we turn it in, you'll be able to see in front of the cab, If we can get that to focus, you'll see here the whistle is kind of, it's a brass painted thing here, but it's kind of tucked in there in the front of the cab. And then you can see this pipe work up here, kind of terminates at the top of the cab. You can see the top of the water tanks here, they're painted black, and those little handrails there. Let's get a good look at that. And then you can see here from the top also that kind of gray decking, or the running deck there. Running platform is gray colored. So nice contrasting colors here between the purple, the pinstriping, the black, the gray, and the red on the bumpers there. Kind of a lot of color to take in there, but definitely a good looking locomotive. All right, let's take a look at the bottom. Not a ton to see here on the bottom, as is typical here. The details more the visible sides of the locomotive when it's running, but you know, here's the motor box down here. We've got some access screws for that. We have on the, you know, this is again an 062, so no leading wheels, but here's the 3 drive wheels, and you can see the purple paint there. But then you've got your, as far as the 2 and the 062 here, is these trailing wheels here, and they've got a little pivot point here to go back and forth. So that's kind of cool. You've got your Bachmann logoing down here as usual, and then your part number in white there on the bottom. And then if you can see here, there's some other access screws here to separate the running platform from the body of the locomotive in case you need to get inside and do some maintenance there. And then you've got some screws so that you can change the couplers. They're pretty delicate. I don't think we've broken any on our Thomas locomotives in rolling stock yet, but so you can replace those if you need to. But yeah, there's a look at the bottom. Okay, so Ryan is one of the newer additions to the Bachmann HO scale Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends Universe collection. And we bought Ryan off of Train World, and he just arrived just a couple days ago. But we paid $129.99 for him again on Train World, and this is May of 2023, where that price is relevant. That doesn't include tax and shipping and things like that. We paid about $13 for shipping. But just to know how much he cost, where he came from, and such. So yeah, let's give Ryan one more spin. All right, and there you have it. Bachmann's HO/00 scale, Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends Universe, Ryan. Now let's take him out on the layout, and I think today we'll have him haul some passenger coaches.